So, what should we do for this project?
I don't know, Natalie. Econ is just so interesting. We have so many options.
Why don't we see what Ben thinks?
Yeah.
Ben? I think he's asleep.
Profits. MR equals MC.
I think he's having an econ dream.
Whoa, Natalie, what's he doing with his hand?
I don't know, Madison. It looks like he's drawing.
Quick, get him a pen and paper. Maybe it'll help us with our econ project.
It's a graph! Look, it's a graph of some sort of market. Supply equals demand, then they're taking a price over here that's equal to the marginal revenue. It looks like it's making a normal profit because where MR equals MC, right here, is the profit maximizing point, but then it's also equal to their total costs.
Wow, that's really cool. But what type of a market is it? And what is this all about?
I don't know. Why don't we wake up Ben and see what he thinks?
Yeah. Hey Ben, wake up. You just had this crazy dream where you drew this graph where MR equals MC. Can you explain it to us?
Yeah, I think I can. Alright, let me explain these complicated graphs. But first, sell me a pencil.
A pencil? Well, I have one here. You can buy it for $1.
Alright, I'll buy that pencil for $1. I really get a lot of benefit from it. One pencil.
Woo!
You know what? What if this pencil breaks? You know what? Can I have a second pencil?
Yeah, I have a second pencil. It'll cost you $1.
Alright.
The price is the same.
The benefit's still more than the cost, I'd say.
Well, would you like to buy a third pencil then? I have one right here. It'll be
what?
$1 more.
You know what? I really don't need a third pencil. I'm not sure it's really worth $1.
That was MR equals MC.
But let me explain these graphs.
Whoa, someone drew this chart while I wasn't looking. Well, Madison, as you can see, my marginal benefit of buying the first pencil was $3, which was more than the marginal cost of $1. I bought the second pencil because the marginal revenue equaled the marginal cost. But after that, when the marginal benefit was lower than the marginal cost, I decided I didn't want that third pencil.
Wow, Ben. Is this the law of diminishing returns? I think I've heard of it.
Yeah, it is. And if I was a business, this is how I would maximize my profit, where MR equals MC.
So Ben, now that you've explained to me the MR equals MC rule, I've been thinking more about this graph. I think the firm's in perfect competition, but I kind of was hoping you could explain it to me further.
Yeah, I'll explain it to you further. Let's roll. Here we are.
Wow, Ben, this looks like the graph that you drew in your dream, the one of perfect competition.
It is. And this graph is interesting because this firm is making zero economic profit because they're operating at the point where marginal cost equals average total cost equals average revenue, right here.
Wow, that's pretty cool, but I'm a little confused. They're making zero economic profit, so that's a normal profit, right? Does that mean that the firm doesn't make any money?
Well, they might be making an accounting profit, which is all their explicit costs, but in terms of economic profit, they're operating at a point where their economic profit is zero.
Oh, okay. So they could still be making money, but their economic profit is zero, which is a normal profit. I get it now. So accounting profit is your explicit costs and benefits, and economic profit is your implicit costs and benefits. I get it now. Ben, what about this top graph? Is this firm making an economic profit?
Well, yes it is, because their average total cost is below the marginal revenue they're making. So they are making an economic profit of this much area in the short run.
Oh, okay. So if this is the short run, then what would happen in the long run?
Well, in the long run, more firms would join the market, and then they would all even out to long-run equilibrium, which we saw as a normal profit.
So cool.
Natalie, do you want to explain the next part?
Sure. Oh, the opposite thing is happening to this firm because it is making an economic loss. The point where MR equals MC is below your average total cost. So this area in red is your loss.
That's pretty cool. So what will happen to this firm in the long run?
This firm will stay in the market because its average variable cost is less than its marginal revenue. So it's still covering its average fixed costs, so leaving the market will make worse economic sense than staying in the market in the short term. Now, this firm is a different story because its average variable costs are equal to the point where marginal revenue equals marginal costs. So even though it's operating a loss in the same way that this firm was, it is losing money on its fixed costs. So this firm will exit the market entirely to try and minimize its loss.
Natalie, I'm still a little confused here on how this is possible. With perfect competition, can firms just enter and exit the market whenever they want?
Exactly, that's one of the characteristics of perfect competition. Also, there are small independent producers. They all have a small share of the market, so they're price takers from the market, and they all produce a standardized product. This is why all of these shifts are possible, because if they're making an economic loss, then firms are free to exit the market, and if there's an economic profit, then firms are free to enter the market. And eventually, all of these changes will shift back to making a normal economic profit.
That's pretty cool. I get it now. Wow, that was such a good econ video, Natalie.
I know, we should reward ourselves with some chips.
Yeah, we should. I mean, Mr. R will probably be jumping for joy when he sees it, don't you think? Okay, well, we have some chips here and some good queso dip. Oh no! There's only one chip left in the bag.
What are we gonna do?
I don't know.
Let's use game theory, or the rules. If you both decide to take the chip, neither of you get it. While if one of you decides to take it while the other splits it, the one who decided to take it gets it. But if you both split it, you both get half.
I wonder what Madison's gonna do. I think I'll split the chip because of our friendship.
I wonder what Natalie's gonna do. I mean, Natalie always takes the last chip. She's probably gonna steal it. I'm gonna take the chip.
Your decision on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Take! I get the chip!
Theory doesn't stop there. Let's say that Natalie and Madison are both pencil companies in an oligopolistic market, both trying to maximize their profits through advertising or not advertising. How do they decide what to do? Well, let's find out.
Here we have a game theory chart of our choices and what we would do. So, in this situation, advertising is going to be the dominant strategy for the pencil company. So, let's say that Natalie advertises. I am going to want to advertise as well because my profit that I would gain from advertising would be 30 and not advertising is 25. So 30 is greater than 25. Let's say Natalie doesn't advertise. The profit I would gain from advertising is 75, which is greater than 50. So either way, I'm going to want to advertise. So now let's take a look at Natalie's choices. Let's say that I advertise. So that would be right here. Natalie is going to want to advertise because 75 is greater than 30 is greater than 25. Let's say I don't advertise. Natalie's also going to want to advertise because 75 is greater than 50. So in this market, Natalie and I are both going to end up advertising, and we're going to end up making $30 each. This is the Nash equilibrium. But if we had colluded, we would both decide that we should not advertise so we can both make 50, which is greater than 30. But it would be difficult to do this because if we did that, we would each have an incentive to advertise and make more than the other person.
So what was the moral of this story anyways, guys?
I don't know, I guess just fall asleep and hope you have an epiphany about econ.
Do you guys want to study for finals?
Yeah.